Good evening and welcome. Tonight, I thought we would work a great deal with space and creating space in the body in this waist area. When we do a yang style of class, I'll often talk about how the low body is grounded, the upper body is light, and that thought process helps create this space all the way around the waist and low back area. So this evening, I thought we'd focus on that once we create the shapes. So let's start off in our centering. We can be in any comfortable seated position at all. We're working with the mudra for courage, and so we'll continue this for a while longer, bringing the tip of the thumb and the index finger, ring finger, middle finger, and ring finger. Those three first fingers in, pinky goes out. We relax the arms. Hands on the lap, palms are up. We gently close the eyes. And then from this supported space, we slightly draw the belly button in. It's a very small move. And notice when we draw it in, notice how that grounds the sits bones a little more. It almost pushes the spine back a little bit or leans the torso, what feels like we're leaning back. That gentle drawing in of the belly is lining up the spine right onto the plumb line between heaven and earth. So we start with our self-talks. Self, I notice my sits bones grounding down, down, down. Deeper and deeper into Mama Earth. Self, I literally bring my thoughts all the way down through the props, through the mat, and all the way into the center of Mama Earth. And then Mama Earth responds by starting to send life force up, up, up through the spine. And that tingling sensation goes right up through the base of spine, right up low back, back of waist, back of ribs, back of shoulder blades, back of neck. And that tingling rises to top of head and creates an opening, a little tingling in scalp. And that energetic tingling in crown chakra is connecting to the heavens. As we connect to the heavens, then the tingling comes from above. We get that tingling even more in the scalp, and it continues through the spine. And we pause for a few moments in the silence, feeling that connection between heaven and earth, and knowing that the little tingling that's happening is that energetic flow filling us up with life force and love. Taking a few moments, notice how deep and soft and full the breath has naturally become. It's very normal as we start to come out of this quiet state that the legs have fallen asleep. So let's gently allow them to release. Feel free to keep your eyes closed or to open them up. You can take a few moments to rub the hands over the legs, just maybe even squeezing a bit to wake them up. Keeping the move soft and fluid so we keep this calm mind. Beautiful. And you're welcome to keep your knees bent like I've got, or you can lengthen your legs long. And we're going to start to circle those feet, waking up the ankles. We go in one direction, pulling the toes back towards the face, over to the side, away from us and back. Just enjoying this for a few moments. And then slowly going the other direction. Absolutely no rush. Well, in the first shape, you'll hear me talk a lot about the belly area. Where again, we're creating this space all the way around the waist and low back. So even though in our first shape, which is melting heart today, we think of that as an opening of the chest and shoulders, I'll cue you a bit and give you a lot of silence to enjoy this lengthening through the body, this creation of space. So let's find our way onto our hands and knees. Because we're going to focus a lot on the belly, I'm going to suggest to keep the toes curled under tonight. That'll give you a little bit more control and it will feel quite nice. Now, right here, the belly slightly draws in. We can have the knee and the hips exactly lined up. You can also protect your low back just a little more if a back bend tends to give you a little bit of discomfort by sliding the hips back just a few inches, and you'll feel your belly soften on the thighs once we release the torso forward. So we'll bring those arms out, we'll soften the forearms down, and then lower that torso, beautiful, onto Mama Earth, allowing that forehead to melt. And then the thoughts, the self-talk is self. I slightly, that tiny little drawing in of the belly button. And self, I notice this space in my body behind the belly button, deep in my center. Self, as I notice this space deep in my center behind the belly button, I notice an energetic and a physical opening from the center, several inches wide around low back, waist, and sides and front. From the center, beaming out. Self, from deep inside, I notice space being created in my midsection. And continue to soften right here into the silence and enjoy. Self, I notice space being created from deep inside belly, going out in all directions around my entire waist. Ever so slowly and gently, gliding the hands back towards the shoulders as you draw the belly button in, coming back up to hands and knees. Taking all the time in the world to come to a seated position. Any seated position is fine. And pause for a moment. We'll do a forward bend in just a few moments. But just close the eyes and notice space in waist. Good. And then gently opening the eyes. Let's take this left leg and let's bring it out a little bit diagonally from the body, from that torso, nice and soft, easy on the earth. And this right leg, we can have the foot in towards the thigh. Now, if we're watching our knee, we don't want any knee discomfort here. For some people, actually having the foot high up puts too much pressure on the knee. You have a couple of options. You can put a blankie or a pillow underneath that leg. That may help. The other thing is to slide the foot down the left leg. And so bringing it perhaps to the calf will take the pressure out of the knee. Now, you'll notice when I do that, my knee's way up in the air. So you'd feel free to once again, you're allowed, put a little blanket or pillow under it, and that will prevent the knee from aching in a perfect yoga world. So we bring our attention again to our midsection. And from the center of the body, the back side, behind our belly button, we pivot the torso gently, just a little bit to the left. And then we'll slide palms up, the hands down the leg. We'll soften the shoulders and jaw, and we'll melt, we'll round over the leg. The hands may naturally drop onto the floor. That's perfectly fine. It's immaterial how far we go. We simply melt. And then within our mind, we think the self thoughts. Self, I notice from deep inside the belly. I notice space being created in right, low back, and kidney area. Self, I notice the space in right, low back, and kidney area. And focus the mind there. Everybody looks great. Beautiful. If the mind wanders, we bring the thought self from belly deep inside. We notice the space created in right, low back, and kidney area. To come out safely, gently draw the belly button in, place the palms down on the earth, and gently start walking the hands back towards the torso, lifting yourself up, pausing in center. Feel that gorgeous whoosh right up the spine. Beautiful. So those hands are walking back. We're back in our neutral position, and we're noticing the energetic flow through our center, all through this waist area. Great. I call that the whoosh. So take all the time in the world to use your hands to help that right leg extend a little bit out diagonally. That leg lengthens. You can always sit up on a blankie or a bolster. We'll bring left hand above the knee but behind the thigh, and we outer rotate that leg. The foot might come towards thigh. It might be further on calf, and you might take your blankie and put it under the knee. Slightly tiny move, draw that belly button in. From there, the whole torso gently turns a little bit towards the right. We slide those hands, palms up, down the leg, soften shoulders, soften head, soften jaw. Melting. Half butterfly. And then the internal thought is self. I draw my belly button in slightly, and I notice sensation from behind the belly button in my center, out through back, body, low back, kidney area, left side. Softening right here for 6 more long, full, deep, absolutely gorgeous breaths. So if I notice space being created, left back body, low back, and kidney area. Slowly and gently gather energy in the belly. Place the palms on the earth. Press into them to slowly walk the torso back up to center. Pause for the whoosh. Ah. So let's take all the time in the world to use our hands and allow that left leg to release out. So our legs are in a V formation, dragonfly. We've been here for a little bit, so I'm actually going to take my little bolster and sit up on it now. You're welcome to do this as well. If at any point you get tired or your low back gets tired, no need to stress it. You can always add something to sit on. Ah, that feels a little bit better for this next part. Good. Everybody's doing great at home. So from here, we're again thinking of this energy around waist, this space that we're creating. We feel that space on back body, and we're going to add to that a little bit more now. So we merely come forward. We might be rounded. You might like to support with your hands. You might want to come on forearms. You might want to round all the way down. A few of you may even be able to lay flat on Mama Earth. And as we come forward, allow the spine to round if you're choosing. And then we bring the thoughts, self. I notice deep inside the center of the belly. And I notice space being created as from the center of the belly, energy moves back into the back body. And self, I feel my low back, back of waist, expanding out in all directions. Self, I notice from deep in belly, energy sliding back into back body, expanding, creating space in low back and back of waist. Softening right here for one more minute, which is 6 long, slow deep, full, absolutely gorgeous breaths. Gather energy in the belly. Press the hands into the earth, walking the torso back to an upright position. Relax the hands on the thighs or in the lap, closing the eyes as we dismount, coming back to this neutral position, our upright dragonfly, pausing for a few moments, feeling the yumminess, the space. So you may be wondering about all this focus in this midsection, really a wide waist, almost like a really wide belt around this area. It's essentially a good part of our core, but it's also the area of our creative energy. And in a little bit, we're going to do a nice long Shavasana. And when we take the time to treat ourselves to a very long Shavasana, it allows us to literally scientifically connect with that incredible God force energy of creativity. It's that space where sometimes when we're working on something and we're struggling a little bit, and we say, well, let me step away for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, something flows inwards and we know exactly what to do. So it's that space we're going to connect with in a little while. So our asana, our physical, is already connecting with that creative force in this area of the body, so that when we go into the long Shavasana, there's literally nothing to do. We'll automatically connect with that greater, higher vibrational energy. So let's find our way by using our hands to bring the legs in. We'll find our way towards our back. I'm actually going to turn this way. And once we get onto the back, let's have knees bent, feet flat. And let's take some time here to melt into Mama Earth. It's going to feel really good about now to just pause. I like to put hands on belly here, especially since we're focusing on that part of body. The shoulders are soft. They're a little away from the head. Just pause in the silence for a few moments, enjoying how you settle onto Mama Earth. Taking all the time in the world, we're going to pick up that right leg. We're going to take the ankle and put it at the up right at the knee on the left leg, or number 4 shape. We go to this one a lot. And first, just pause here. Again, I love hands on belly in this shape. The thigh is just gently releasing a little bit away from you. We're not pushing it. We're not trying to make anything happen. Just there's an energetic flow of it heading that direction, whether it physically goes or not. It's immaterial. With our hands on belly, this is a perfect opportunity to bring the thoughts back deep inside self. I notice my belly, behind the belly button, towards the back body. And then beautifully from this space, we're going to allow the arms to leave the belly, and we're going to bring them out from the shoulders in a comfortable position on Mama Earth with soft elbows, soft shoulders. So just move around a bit till you find that yummy spot for you this evening. Sorry, I muted myself. There's an energetic thought here once again. This beautiful twist. So, self, from deep inside belly, I notice back left body. And then self, from deep inside, from back left body, I notice deep inside an energetic glide across deep inside belly, across to front of right hip. So there's a little swirl from low back, deep inside belly, across the front of hips. So in the silence, continue to enjoy that. Slowly and gently. Gather energy in the belly, keeping the legs in the number 4 shape. Inhale them back to center. Glide your hands back to belly. Pause for a few breaths right here. No rush. Then slowly uncross the legs. Bring the feet to the outer edges of the mat, and taking all the time in the world, just gently windshield wiper the legs back and forth a few times. Nice and easeful. Good. Then bringing the feet hip distance apart, knees are bent, feet are flat, hands are on belly. Let's pick up the left ankle. We'll cross it over the right leg. And then number 4, the thighs tracking energetically away from us. We pause right here for a few breaths. Self, I notice deep inside belly, behind the belly button. And then slowly and gently maintaining the number 4 shape, we'll first allow the arms to release out from the shoulders, palms are up. And then we'll allow the legs to roll towards the right. The head can roll to the left. The sole of the left foot is on the earth. The knee is tracking to the sky. Feel free to close the eyes. And then we have that wonderful swirl energy again. Self, I notice deep inside my belly. Notice the energy, back body, right low back. Deep inside self, I notice how the energy slides and swirls right across belly to front of left hip and soften into that. Self, I notice from deep in belly to right low back, deep inside, energetic flow across to front of left hip. Gather energy in the belly. Inhale the legs back to center. Glide the arms by your sides, palms are up. Slowly uncross the legs. Take a few moments to gently windshield wiper. No rush here. In a few moments, when we melt into our long, beautiful Shavasana, we'll be here for a bit. So feel free if you need a bolster for under the knees, if you need a light blankie over you or think you will, if you need socks on or even a light pillow under your head, take a moment to gather those items and get yourself ready. And then we'll come to stillness and we'll allow the legs to lengthen long on Mama Earth. I'm going to come out to hold space for you while you're in your beautiful Om Shavasana. Now, as we soften, making our way into eventually, scientifically, this creative, energetic space where natural downloads will happen. If we try to get there, nothing happens. So we'll naturally, scientifically flow into this space with the same instruction that we always use in Shavasana. So the legs are on the earth, lengthened, comfortable, your palms are upright, arms by your sides, the head and neck are comfortable, that chin is slightly back and down a hair. The eyes are closed. There is absolutely nothing left for you to do but to just let go. If you'd like to remain in Shavasana for longer, just ignore my instruction and stay as long as you like. If you'd like to come out, gently roll the head one way and slowly and gently roll it the other. When you are ready, gently wiggling the fingers and toes. Absolutely no rush. If you'd like, reaching arms overhead, stretching fingers to toes in a beautiful stretch. And bringing one thigh into the chest and the other. Just giving those thighs a sweet, gentle hug. And snuggling on the right side in a fetal position, pausing there. Slowly and gently pushing up to a comfortable position. And we bring the palms together at heart center. May you have an absolutely blessed rest of your day. Namaste.